There's bears out here.
Hey, traders. Welcome to the Sunday afternoon stream. We're live early. You know, I could have gone live for the weekly candle close, but just kind of wanted to, show you what's kind of been happening. We have an active weekend price action, but it's all been negative. The most recent price action we got yesterday was a confirmed bearish breakdown on the 4-hour below 102.6, 103. Then when we spent a good 12 hours or so, plus 12 to
guide us through these trying times. The weekends was supposed to be our break. Ga ga ga.
Greg Pay, thanks dude for the 5. Really appreciate that, man. Nope, no breaks. No breaks. And unfortunately, when there's no liquidity to pull because the rest of the markets are closed, they're going to take it from crypto and your beanie babies. So my God, dude, beanie babies, all caps now. We're going through nearing a 5-year low on others.d. Yeah, it's a purge. It's an altcoin winter. Okay, no altcoin summer, no altcoin season. If you look at most of this crap, I don't know. It's just there's no one buying, and they're taking out the lows that we saw when Bitcoin. Let's just say Bitcoin was bottoming out in April, goes on a 50% run in 42 days, and you have many, if not the majority of altcoins testing that same low, if not lower now. Different universe. 24-hour liquidations about 1.1 billion. Yeah, people were asleep at the wheel, man. They didn't have their stops set up. I'm just like, and you know the levels, like what levels for your tolerance to own one of these assets. Even Bitcoin has its own. I mean, like, remember your insurance on Bitcoin if you cared about all-time highs, if you wanted price discovery. You just could not be really bullish until buyers were able to recapture the 3 levels, that 106, 150, that 108.6, 109.358, even like 110.5. You really still cannot be truly hardcore bullish on Bitcoin until we make a higher high than 110.5. And so the fact that the price action correlation was just so bad, and it really started with that kind of dragonfly doji almost, but the bearish back test, right? Multiple ones, like you got like the top of the zone, the bottom of the zone, just on Friday. And that was like I did that static video talking about that was the most recent piece of data, and that's not a good piece of data. Sorry, that would like almost imply to the next level. And the problem is, I mean, hopefully, in the next few hours we recapture the level, no big deal, but the target level, 99.3 to 100, is being cut through like a hot knife through butter right now. And in fact, on the 4-hour, you can clearly see above my head, like they just spent, nasty. We got almost a $4,000 candle with a confirmed bearish breakdown. And then the next 4 hours, market participants spent time attempting to recapture 99 through 100K. And they've just failed. That's all they've done is failed so far. And it was the lowest 4-hour candle close since May 7th, I believe. And of course, below support resistance. So again, maybe in the next 3 hours, 30 minutes, this can turn into a positive candle. We'll recapture 100K. It was no big deal. It never was, never will be. But for now, that's just really bad current data we have. All right. Even if you were trying to be like optimistic and say, hey, dude, it was a down-sloping consolidation structure, like anchor point 1 and 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. Well, guess what? Like, unless like some good things happened. Like earlier, it was like they took it back to 100,300, and it was like, oh, we were back above the down-sloping support, the horizontal line support. Not anymore. We're back below it. So it's like all your optimism has to just be gone until that level's recaptured, because on deck is an easy 200-day simple moving average, which is like 95.9. That's on deck if this is real. Okay, it might not be real, because we're not acting like we know. But the price action has not been favorable to buyers recently in the past week and a half, and now we are witnessing the manifestation of that unfavorable price action correlation to key levels from history, which you needed to be above. You need to be correlating positively above as support. You weren't doing that. So it's kind of like TA respect in a way, even if we don't know, we don't act like we know. So that's your daily assessment. Not great. Let's get above 100. We might be all right. We might be safe. Until then, be very cautious. All right. So we look at that 4 hour, and it all started with the most unpopular W shape of all time, probably. Because, my God, we were recapturing all the levels. Oh, my God, we could do it, dude. All we got to do is break 110.5. And we're off, and they just, it developed. I even swore at it in the Citadel. I pinged y'all, was like, this dang shark. Dang you, shark, I think I said. And then it began to roll over, and then a rally, and then a much lower high than the previous high. Oh boy, like here's a high, and this high, the 886, they rivaled the highest high, and it was just like, oh, I think I went on this little rant about this is what Bitcoin does, man. Like, it did it in 2021, it did it last year at 73K. Ugh. So just a bunch of, rolling over and then testing key level, then rallying, tweezer top, selling off, hitting support. What they did on Friday was nasty, right? They ran it up just to barely touch that 200 simple moving average. And that was it. Rejected and then continued downward. So again, yeah, trading at the lowest price we've seen since May 7th. So we're, what is that, 7-week lows on Bitcoin? And that's just not too bad compared to some alts, man. That's just, oh, wow, only 7-week lows? Oh, okay. We'll be all right. Maybe 6-week lows, whatever. So I hope we just got the levels out of the way at the 4 hour, the daily. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, not great. Just because, I mean, dude, you did it. You failed 5 weeks in a row. You couldn't break resistance from history from earlier this year and last year, late last year. And now you're watching the effect of the failure from buyers so many times, including this week at the high. Wow, crazy. So going for the lowest weekly candle close since April 28th. And to be real, on the weekly, you can see the target, 90, 91, 92K. That's kind of it on the weekly. Not great, man. And then you just look at the oscillator and it's like, is this my opinion? I mean, are you going to like burn me at the stake? Because I'm just like, here's a high and here's the same high on price and just significantly lower levels on the histogram. I mean, is that my fault? Is that me being negative or just identifying it, right? RSI, here's a high on price. Here's the same high on price, lower levels relative strength. I mean, is that my fault? Should I be blamed for that? A high on price, a slightly higher high on price, actually. Ugh. Actually, Class A, bearish divergence on the oscillators. Give me a break, man. So, this is just why I made this meme, dude. I made it for all of you. I don't care if anyone likes it or not. You got the M2 Bitcoin correlation bros. Okay, it's going to follow the M2 and we're going to be kangs, man. All right, 130, 150 in minutes. Or, oh boy, it's the 2021 fractal where we made a slightly higher high, once and then sold off, then twice. And oh boy, here we go. So it's starting to favor those 2021 fractal bros more, but who knows? All right, it's a meme. Bitcoin speculators are sweating, bro. They don't know. We don't know. Completely opposite outcomes too. It's just like, yeah, that's typically how it is. You can only go up or down. I'm not sure about that. A Wyckoff top or anything. Now, we had our Wyckoff distribution. It was beautiful. It played out wonderfully. Like from the Wyckoff distribution schematic sell-off, it lost about 20% of its value at the lows. And then buyers came back in near the low, front ran the old all-time high. Crazy. But here we are again, a failure, a steel wall. No bueno. Let's go to the monthly, because we have a monthly close in, what, a week? 8 days? Still not like the worst thing in the world. Just a red candle. Maybe we recover a little bit in the next 8 days. But, yeah, it could be better. It was better earlier in the month when we were just like at 111, 110. Yep, still just never got to see the cup with handle measure move, man. But gold did. Gold. You got to wonder. And what is it? Less than an hour and a half. We're going to have futures open. We're going to have gold. Commodities are going to open. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. We have like weekend Wall Street. U.S. oil is like currently up like 8.5%. And, okay, geopolitical ramifications, man. That's just what's going on. What, the U.S. used the B-2 bombers to destroy 3 nuclear development enrichment sites in Iran, which was definitely a surprise to a lot of people. People are going to have their opinions on it, whether it should have been done or not done. But we're just here to like kind of, witness the type of price action that has occurred because of it. And it has been extremely unfavorable for Bitcoin. But let's be real. Did the U.S. bomb Iran before or after the unfavorable price action correlation we had received after the confirmation high locally, the 886 high to low here? I mean, this all was before the B-2 bombers bombed Iran. So it's just kind of like, show me the charts, I'll show you the news. Oh, this kind of implies maybe that the U.S. is going to bomb Iran. Anyway, yeah, all right. So on the 4-hour, Bitcoin's kind of coming off those lows. We saw a low of like 98,250. So all we can do is market participants, speculators, is just pray that the buyers recapture $100,000 convincingly, because anything above that level, given enough time, could be 102.6, 103. So we're just hoping that the selling subsides now. It has to. So good to see y'all. I hope y'all have been having a good weekend and you enjoyed the static video. See, the static video on Friday was like super good for what's been going on, right? Because we're just talking about, well, Bitcoin looks kind of like it might be heading to 100K due to the price action we have received most recently. And what would that be implied for altcoins? Way lower for them too. And that's definitely been going on. So what we should do first, though, before we get off of Bitcoin, is go to the Bitcoin dominance chart, see how that is, because you understand multi-year highs incoming on the weekly close. We had the highest daily candle close yesterday on market cap, Bitcoin market cap dominance since January 2021. So again, another multi-year high, the highest candle close and highest level we had seen of the multi-year uptrend that started with Wyckoff accumulation. One of the most textbook, beautiful examples I've ever seen in my life. It's just continued. And so you're above 65 right now, where we're still just waiting on 70%. 70% Bitcoin dominance is the target, above 60% due to looking left. And it's taking time, but yeah. Again, you're going for another daily multi-year high today, 3 hours, 19 minutes. So that's confirmed. The weekly is gorgeous. My God, look at it. I mean, it's up on the week, 1.66%, going for the highest weekly candle close since January 11th, that week, 2021. And this is why you see 70% is the target area. It's just the overhead resistance is where a multitude of reversals have occurred in the past. So that's on deck. So what is that? I mean, that's about 7% more upside on Bitcoin dominance, all right? Look at Bitcoin futures that is not open yet, but just for fun. boy, it's not going to be pretty. Not going to be a pretty open, man. Yep, and I looked at this in the static video. That tweezer top reversal was so at resistance, man. That's where you look for Japanese candlestick reversals. So you can imagine this thing gonna be just opening down here unless a miracle happens in an hour and 19 minutes. You know, it's gonna be way lower. It's gonna be opening at its lowest point since May 8th. And, you know, the same level, man. They better hold this. If they don't, it's going to be a gap fill target. And I think there's kind of two gaps. There's one gap at 96,680, in my opinion, right? It's a candle close. Traders settled up there on that Friday. That next Monday, it opened higher than where traders settled up. That's why I think there's a gap there. And there's definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, a gap at 91,880. Those are two valid candidate areas. But hey, the good news is you're going to gap down pretty bad. So you're going to have an unfilled gap above you too. So that'll fill eventually. You just don't know when. So, all right. That shark, remember the shark? It exceeded the 886, but never got to the 113. It was just in between. And that's why they call it a zone, man. They call it the freaking zone. So I would say you are beginning to react at this point. Okay, whether you call it an 886, there's your 886 anyway. This is right around the area. It never became invalid, really. It just, they went to push it up to the inflection points, the overhead resistance from last year and early this year. So this is still there. You know, think about a 50% retrace just for a 5.0. That's about 93,280. Well, if we're at 93,280 for a bullish 5.0, potentially, let's just knock out two birds, one stone and fill the gap at 91,880. Yeah, so don't know if this is going to hold, but see, here you are on the 4 hour. See, they're pushing it back to test that level. It's very real. We really want to see the price get back to 100K for real.
BTC down, dollar up, oil up, China, Europe and Japan screwed, Fed hawkish, counter-terrorists win.
That's a lot. What's up, Fibonacci Times? Thanks for the pounds, mate. Sweat on in it. It's probably a more reasonable time for you to be watching the stream too. Thank you, dude. Well, you know, we'll be, if I'm still live, you know, the futures will open, commodities will open. You could take a look at them to assess the carnage over the weekend carnage. Okay, so that's been a mouthful. I'm gonna be like,
since we started out on Bitcoin, let's go further into crypto.
okay, let's go to Ethereum. That, I mean, you know, hate to say it, but you just, the multitude of failures to break the 200-day simple moving average and then breaking the upsloping supports, you know, that level, and then testing 2400, just like, see you at 2100, man. See you there. There you are. You knew the ramifications. That is why levels are important. To break it would mean 2127 at the lows. That is exactly what has been achieved. You're seeing really nasty RSI on Ethereum. I'm talking 31.3, so not even oversold yet. The lowest RSI reading on Ethereum since April 9th, which is like the lows down here. Disgusting. Way higher prices, at least. But we got, how crazy is this? Okay, people don't even think about it. We literally got to break even on where Eric Trump said to buy Ethereum, thank me later. I'm talking to pretty much the dollar. He said it at 28.89, okay, at that candle high close back from February 30, said buy it. It lost 50+% of its value at the lows and rallied and just went to pretty much square up. That's what it hit. And now since then, so the Eric Trump resistance, you know, Ethereum down 26.6% in 11 days.
Just close the fucking door. Close the door.
So no real surprise here on Ethereum. It's all about, can they hold it? They started looking weaker and weaker. That candle on, you know, on Friday looked really bad, and just like probably out now. And just, we're lower. We're at it and waiting on I mean, if they can't hold 21, 27, at least you got a couple more real supports. 2000, 1972 below you. You break 1972, that's when things get nasty again, real nasty. So you're just starting to hit some more reasonable levels here. But hey, there you go. That's Ethereum. Gross. You don't want to hear about it, but XRP, my God, man. You know, it was here. You almost thought there's no way it's going to be invalidated, this idea of the momentum shift into the hands of the sellers, because it was like right here at one point, 234, and then it pulled back because I think a Trump tweet, and then it bearishly engulfed the next day. Complete rejection, virtually just confirmed that this was it, right? Confirmed that the right shoulder was valid, and look at you now. Finally fell back below that 206, was it? No, it was right here, 214 level. And here we are. I mean, you're down 5.5%. You're in the danger zone. To break 190 is death. In a way, like technical kind of death. Like where the downside potential is massive, vast, in a way almost unlimited. And we look back at the weekly here, just reassessing the situation. You're in trouble, man. You're in a lot of trouble here. That head and shoulders idea never became invalid. You never really came close to being invalidated. That was the highest point, 264. Couldn't even get close. So going for the lowest weekly candle close on XRP since the last day of March that week. Buckle up, man. It could be real bad down if they break it. So I'm hoping no. I'm always hoping that it doesn't happen, but whatever. Hope doesn't mean crap. Better pray for Bitcoin. Yeah, and this little head and shoulders situation was a lot more defined on a ton of other cryptos. It was maybe a little weird here, but it's real. Okay. How are our alerts set up? Man, it got to a low today of 190.93. Good Lord. Okay, very bad. So the other one, though, that Solana had nothing that really looked good at all to me. It just like didn't make sense. It was holding here. I don't care if it holds here. It's just not at a point where you could do anything, and there's no structures that make any sense either. So just wait, and if you waited, like, okay, lower prices, and they cracked through 135.81, they're now breaking below 130. You're on deck. You got 124, and once 124, 123 break, you just have tons of downside, like $90 or at least $95 to go test the lows there. So I guess all you could do is just pray to God that maybe some sort of M-shape 886 occurs here and we react and then type to it. But it's getting real sketch out there in crypto or altcoin world. Bitcoin not as much, you know. Bitcoin's fine. But yeah, Solana, this is it, man. You don't want to lose this level that you're currently testing, but without a structure. That's the thing. Like, if an asset's trading at a key inflection point, that's great, but you want to be trading there and you want to show favorable price action correlation there, and you just aren't. We're just sitting here without a structure. So still not really something to buy, but okay. And then the one that looks, in the end, you know, you look at the Friday's video I did, we talked about it, how it just started looking really mature now. Like, okay, you better not hold it below this level because the implications of it breaking, and it finally broke, were BNB in less than 2 days, down 7%, or at the lows was down 7%, down like 6% now. Below that 200-day simple moving average now. It's gross, man. There's just nothing to do on BNB below 621, 638. I was kind of cautiously optimistic for the month they've been holding it above, but then as you just started seeing what Bitcoin was doing at its key levels, you started doing the crypto math being like, if there's unfavorable price action of Bitcoin at a key level and it looks like it might be heading lower, you can imagine what the altcoins are going to do. It's going to go lower too, and it did. So yeah, not great, man, but whatever. Let's just pray for a rally on Bitcoin back above 100, and we'll be okay in the short term. Okay. Let's go to Well, those are like the bigger ones, but let's look at like total market cap real quick. I have it inverted for the memes.
I like turtles.
There's bears out here.
So yeah, the meme this weekend was what is it? I pinged y'all in the Discord. I was like, pump it, because my God, it's a shark pattern. And yeah, they're pumping it, and unfortunately they're dumping it. And my God, how once again, man, like pretty much a shark, respecting the TA like godlike, right? So below the 200 simple moving average now. I mean, I know we broke it intraday, but really below it with a candle close, first time since May 7th. And this level's important. You know, you look left, this is back from November 2021's old all-time high. To break that would be really, really bad. So we're on a key level watch. And, you know, if Bitcoin's going to 93K, 91.8 to fill those gaps, you know where we're going. Probably going to 2.58 trillion. But the good news is, you know, Bitcoin hasn't done that yet and may not. So, no, Bitcoin makes total look strong. Exclude Bitcoin from the total chart, and total's a complete and utter joke. So that would be the total 2 chart. Without Bitcoin, Bitcoin's been the only reason why this thing's doing anything. I mean, just think about this crap, dude.
Bueller.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Like, for instance, like total 2, this is everything in crypto out and excluding Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was in this, then we'd be at an 88% retrace like total. But this is Bitcoin excluded. This is how pathetic the crypto market is without Bitcoin. From the highest point to lowest point, could only make like a 55% retrace before like some classic distribution developed at the 200 moving average. Now you're rolling over again. So no, what you were saying is the inverse. And oh my God, like to lose 1 trillion here is really bad. This is a very key level on total 2. You don't want to lose this. To lose this, you know it, 886. So that's probably like 879 billion, 880 billion dollars. That will be the target for an 886 for potential M shape, but still you're just waiting on the M shape to fail or not. So yeah, big deal here. Pray for Bitcoin, because yeah, and that's a psychological level, right? 1 trillion, yeah. Real bad. So it's down 3.56% today. And then I don't even know. Let's see. I mean, total 3, which excludes Ethereum. Maybe total 3 would look a little better because Ethereum's garbage. No, just as bad, man. Almost can't even tell the difference. That's how irrelevant Ethereum has become in performance. Yeah. 750 billion is a big one here. Not even a big one. It's just there. Nasty, right? Just underperformance, long-term downtrend now. They couldn't even break this high from February and March. There's a little zone there. And look at you now, you know, lowest price or lowest level seen since mid-April. And yeah, you would probably just be waiting for an 886 here too, which is like 700 billion. Oscillators look like crap. I mean, it's almost just like 1, 2, 3. And now it's resolving after the 3. The 200 moving average. Very bad. Oh. But then, like, you know, I was looking at, we've begun to look at it more. But on the video I did on Friday, it was just like, dude, this makes one not want to own altcoins at all. Like $0 of altcoins owned in portfolio because of that. And we've seen what, 5, 6, like 7 days in a row of multi-year lows every single day. A multi-year low streak, 7-day streak. Lowest level seen since January 2021, so 4.5-year lows. And you still aren't even really that close. You're still so much more downside on others.d. You know, but it's down like 4 or 5%. So you still have like 15 to 27% downside on others' dominance, market cap dominance of all of crypto, including Bitcoin. Yeah, it just means this is outside of the top 10. So, I mean, we know the top 10's a joke too. I mean, like, really, Dogecoin, Tron Coin, bro, Cardano, they're all jokes too. They don't do anything. Like, those are your top 10. That's a terrible league. They're never going to make it the NFL. So, everything, like, things worse than the top 10, which are already a joke, yeah, I would be confident to believe that 5.9% would eventually happen, okay? That's your, like, ICP and CRV and KNC and Bitcoin Cash and ApeCoin and HOT and Highcoin and Neocoin, ZRX. That's all that garbage. No one uses Cardano, bro. Like, he'll, you know, Hoskinson's son will say that people use it, but no, especially, like, dude, the crazy thing, Vitalik talked about it, the rare W from Vitalik. He said that the major issue with crypto ecosystems is, like, they don't really get used, like, with high traffic unless there's a bubble, unless, like, there's crazy you know, speculation going on in the market, like during, like, periods like May of 2021, November 2021, I mean, January 2018, like, that's the only time the ecosystems are really, like, pumping and there's growth. During market conditions since 2021, the ecosystems don't grow. None of them grow. Because there's just not enough purpose. Like, they're trying to fix problems that don't exist. And people get burnt because I would imagine, like, you know, people participating in crypto, there have to be a high majority that are just speculating to make money, okay, to get rich. The small minority are going to be the ones that are like, hey, dude, I'm here for the technology and it's going to change the world. It hasn't changed the world. Dude, we've been here covering this stuff weekly, multiple times a week for 7.5 years. I'm telling you. Nothing's changing the world. These altcoins not changing the world. They're not doing anything to help any Joe Schmo out there. It's like, to be candid, right? To be candid, crypto, not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is excluded from crypto. Crypto collectively has hurt more people than it has helped. And I think that's virtually definitive at this point. When you think about the amount of people that joined the space in the past 7-8 years, they came in, wide-eyed, innocent, hoping for the future, and they put money in, probably in an altcoin because they couldn't make the yield on Bitcoin. They bought it probably higher, and we know what's happened in the past 5 years to altcoins. None of them have captured highs from 2021. They've all made lower highs, and they've crashed and crashed. Many are making all-time lows today as I'm speaking to you. So crypto has done a net negative on the world so far. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Tell me, refute that. And I'll show you a surprised man. Net negative, that's crypto. Bitcoin is completely different, though. Bitcoin's been a net positive on the world, okay? It's taken countries out of poverty. It really has, okay? Bitcoin, its future is now, and it will continue to help people in the third world, but eventually the second world and then the first world. You will see, because the monetary debasement will not stop. It just won't. So this chart right here is what you need to know about crypto. Scam. It's been a scam. That's why we call it Beanie Babies almost every day. And people hated it, dude. The amount of hate that came from talking about this stuff like Beanie Baby. People were so triggered and hateful. How many project devs emailing, or, you know, how many Telegram scam coin pump and dump groups came in here that we had to mass ban? All of them. What are they doing? Okay, so get rid of crypto in the end. And it's not an opinion. It's not subjective. It is objective. Yikes. All right, so we'll have an alert set up. We hear any lower, probably won't hear it on stream, but when I hear it, I'll let you know. Okay, so those are like your top cryptos. Unfortunately, like there's nothing we can do yet. We still be waiting another hour for futures to open. Maybe I should have gone live a little later for that, but we can just kind of. No, the baby is, holy guns, the baby is Bitcoin. The bathwater is all of crypto and what it's done for humanity. Okay, so Ethereum to Bitcoin, someone wanted to see. Yeah, it's doing, well, I don't even know if this is the right chart. Hold on. Okay, it was consolidating, went a little, okay, broke. It was fake out, right? And then break down. Then bearish back test 2.4 million Satoshis. And it was like, this didn't look good, man. And now, rolling over and still just kind of at the same levels it was at in early May. 6-week lows, whatever. And yeah, you're going to 2 million probably. What was I saying, though? It doesn't matter. All it's going to do is put in a lower high. All these pumps we've had, they're very similar to the one we had 50% in 3 days in the U.S. paired against the U.S. dollar. Same thing, just lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. I just don't know why it would change. I know why this trend and theme would not change. Because there is only one thing in the world that is being mass adopted by governments now. What happened this weekend? Texas, it got codified into law. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, one of your largest states in the union. It happened. Okay, are they doing that for Ethereum, XRP, Cardano? Nope. Are there sovereign wealth funds buying Ethereum and Dogecoin? Nope. They're buying Bitcoin though. Are there countries that are making Ethereum a legal tender? Nope. There was a country in Central South America, another one that just made Bitcoin. I think it was, what was it? Which country was it in the past week or two? That's the trend. Bitcoin's uptrending in a mass adoption. None of these altcoins are. So the meta, I don't know why it would change. Okay, no, whatever. Yeah, everything paired against Bitcoin sucks. That's the Panama. That's what it was. All right. Okay. So that's what we're gonna look at. Like, you want to see Dogecoin, bro? You're gonna get a Doge. Well, we knew below 17.8 cents. Death. Don't own it. Don't give a crap. Maybe we get a Type 2.
Plaza Type 2 return once dust settles. I have a more optimistic outlook, Mitch. DCA Bitcoin and use TA on proof of work altcoins when the space-time continuum appears. It's not so bad, smile. Free market's a double-edged sword.
I understand what you're saying, and it's crazy that I went to Doge and then you tipped right at the same time. So yeah, you're talking about M-shape, Type 2, maybe. But my problem with a Type 2 return at a random area, I don't feel as good. I want there to be, gosh dang, I'm trying to do this. Okay. I want something like this to happen. If I want a Type 2 return, I want it to be like happening where there's like good history looking left. Right? Oh yeah, undeniably there's like an inflection zone here. Like, I'm sorry, it's not perfect, but it's all happening where it's easy to manage risk. See, the problem is like Dogecoin and hold on, make sure. Yeah, Dogecoin just not really doing it. Like, it's kind of below all the key levels. I wouldn't want to own Dogecoin right now below 17.8 cents. I just wouldn't. Like, the harmonic framework's there. Right, it could be developing, but we need to see favorable price action, right? So maybe, like, if you give me data that would make your argument real, fine, but your argument doesn't exist yet because there's been zero favorable price action for 5-6 weeks now, and you're at this level above the 200-week moving average, but you're below all key support from history that I think matters. So again, it's not just about the harmonic framework itself, right? Like we know it, we love it, but we want all this to develop, and then we look left over here from years ago, and there's all these supports here, and this type 1, type 2, it's all developing at that support. We really want that. We don't have that on Doge right now. That's what sucks. So appreciate the 20, man, and the very coincidental contribution, right? We like started looking at it immediately. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing though. Space-time continuum, I get it. We had it in November on many, like VeChain, and let's just for VeChain for instance, if I can find it. I mean, even Cardano had it. Like VeChain had it, right? The disgusting nothing after a crash, bear trend, and then it developed, and it was kind of just right. It was space. Hey, anytime, you don't know how long it happened, and then it was over. And now look at us. Look how bad this is. You go further in time, and you're going for your lowest weekly candle close on VeChain since October of 2023. Like, this is what I'm saying about it. Okay, this wedge pattern, it didn't perform. It caught nothing. So yeah, maybe we get a 1 and 2 here locally, but until we start seeing some favorable price action, all we know is like it's certain there's no composite operator accumulating a position. There's no buying campaign going on by big money right now on altcoins due to the fact that there's no evidence of accumulation at all. None. In fact, there's an argument for less than before because you're about to make a lower close than you made just in March, a lower close than you made in October of last year. The whole M shape, you're lower than its pattern completion time. Like, what? So you give me some evidence and some data that things are turning around. Until then, you have to just go with the data, and the data today, right now, is awful. Okay, we wake up in a couple days, it's better, fine. But all this happening while Bitcoin has already like been up here and making lower highs now, lower lows now. We're in like a short-term downtrend on Bitcoin now because you have consecutive lower highs, lower lows. The trend reversed to the downside in the short term. Not my opinion. It's reality. It's trend analysis. So that's like at all-time highs on Bitcoin. And then these altcoins, they're rivaling the prices they were at 18 plus months ago, or it's worth. This is a mild example. You have other ones that are just garbage, dude. Like storage was another. Like it had the. I mean, like it's failing, right? These weekly ideas are failing. So you got the type 1 reaction, thinking optimistically we get back down here. The crash happens at round trips, the election. Okay, what? And now it's like no one's there. No one's home. No bids. Going for the lowest weekly candle close on storage since, you won't believe it, August of 2020. We're talking about pretty much almost 5-year lows on storage. Hello? Like, sometimes it's not about the space-time continuum. Sometimes it's about, wow, these things, like, the liquidity is worse than it was years ago. Too many. 36 million now, dude. They killed the market. They've killed it. Oh, Shiba? How about Shiba? Dude, y'all know Shiba, dude? I know Shiba. Very bad. Like, the downside potential here is so massive. Look what they're doing. Going for the lowest weekly candle close since February of 2024. Look at this, though. It's so nasty. That bearish price action, it was really 1 and 2. You gotta really respect how the sellers confirmed what was once support resistance as resistance not once, but twice. Nice bearish engulfing candle. Really good follow through. And, yesterday you had about 30% downside. If they broke it, they did break it. So you're well on the way. Your target, I think, at least 853, but probably 766 when it's all said and done. So nothing about this chart is screaming bullish. Nothing. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, like, I look, dude, you look at the monthly on, like, I think it was Cosmos or whatever, and it's like, okay, this would be it. If it's going to resolve, I mean, the double bottom at support from years ago, it's just nothing. Nothing, man. They are wildfire. They are charts of sadness. They are learning lessons, though. We're remember talking about Lewis and Clark, right? We're applying traditional technical analysis, right? Traditional technical analysis is the study of risk management on a chart, and that's been going on. That's been researched by many different people over the course of the past 100 years. And we are attempting to apply that traditional technical analysis, risk management framework to a very, very untraditional, global, unregulated, extremely fraudulent and scammy market. Yeah, there were no Native Americans that, were trying to scalp us. Well, you know what? I mean, there really are, like over in Wall Street and Forex market, and definitely a lot of scalpers there. But what I'm saying, I'm trying to make we are Lewis and Clark. We're like in Mobile, and we're like cutting through trees trying to go north, and we're running to the Creek Indians, Cherokees, right? A completely different world. So that's what we've been trying to do for 7.5 years. And it like what's happening is like the liquidity, there's such a lack of liquidity in the market. There's less market liquidity in crypto now than there has been in 5 years. So patterns that are being painted are just not, like if they were some semblance of bullish at 886s, no one's buying them. There's no one there anymore to prop them up. So you'd imagine, like I would think CZ, they own a lot. They would probably continue to just offload these scam coins to try to shore up the price of their own BNB coin. Or just cash up, tether up, waiting for more favorable market conditions. But yeah, like the end game is many altcoins, many of them will trend near zero. They'll be going closer to zero than they've gone. Like NEO coin, like for instance, man, like you had a couple times where the harmonic framework developed. It was beautiful, right? M shape at supports, type 1, type 2. Good God, it was beautiful. And then another one developed, 886 shark pattern this time, and the election, and then it pumped. And then it dumped. And then you think, oh man, maybe we'll make another 886. And nope, no more 886s anymore, chat. The market conditions have changed dramatically. In fact, all these key levels now have become resistance. And now you're below all the big ones. I mean, like your target here on NEO coin, like $4. Another, like what? How much more percentage downside? You still got another like 20% downside, and it's almost like, good God, like a left shoulder head right shoulder situation. It's not the same, right? Hey dude, look, it was August 2024. Look, it was October 2023. Look, it was December 2022. You're lower. You're way lower than you were all these different valleys at these naders. You're lower than you were in November 2019, lower than you were February 2019, lower than you were December 2018 when Bitcoin was in the 3,000s. $3,000 Bitcoin, 100K, 99K, and you're lower. Yeah, that's what I mean. So, yeah, I know you want to say optimism, man, but if you look at these coins for real, the optimism, you don't have it. You understand why, too. It's like, hey, dude, let's go to let's go to like Chevron. Wait a second, Chevron. Okay, so traditional asset or traditional market. Triple bottom with accumulation signature. Key levels, back from the oil glut, 2014, old all-time high. Another one, 2018. They were defending it successfully as support. Well, we looked at it, and then, like, little did we know that, like, the way these struck, why did there look like there were some oil stocks with good reward to risk? We had no effing clue that Israel was about to start bombing Iran. No, it just started happening. It was like show me the charts, I'll show you the news. Bottoming structures developed on oil stocks, and now look at it. Who knows? This thing will be up probably 153. and your gap fills would be your targets anyway eventually. So there was good reward or risk on something like Chevron, something like Valero, and it was all technical. It had nothing to do with the bombings, because it was all before the bombings. When it look at that, you got to be kidding me, right? The old trade setup, the buyers recaptured the key level. They broke the supply line from old time-highs, target 3 of the old setup, and they broke out. They back tested it formally as support, at the same time testing this key level that, if you know it, it's unbelievable. It's so perfect, 2018. And you know this will be gapping up. Overnight, it'll be up. We still got 44 minutes and change till futures reopen. So maybe y'all just got to keep talking to me and give me stuff to talk about, like ask questions and stuff, so I can keep it going, for God's sake. That's all I need. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, optimism. How can you really be optimistic about crypto when we're looking at stuff like NEO? And I just expressed to you what's going. Oh, you're lower at the lowest lows we had seen in 2019, pre-COVID. What? The patterns are failing. They're dudding out. Selling pressure just keeps coming in. Best indicators for determining price action besides volume, RSI, MACD, candle closes, local swing lows higher than the others. Like, price action is just price action. There is no indicator for price action. It's just you're watching. Like, look, you're identifying Valero from May 21st all the way to like June 6th, right? We knew the level. You have to identify the level. You know the level of significance historically. And then you started separating, like June 6th and 9th, and then, whoa, the 10th. Dang, dude, that's favorable. That's like they've recaptured it, and then they reconfirmed its validity as support. So price action is just price action itself. There's nothing going on with it. Do I think the market can flip bullish because of war as it is randomly started? Oil stocks, it's catalyzed these positive technical events that had occurred on the oil stocks has literally been prophetic. It's like, whoa, that's a good technical. It might be a good long, and then somehow it's like the composite man knew what was about to happen. So for instance, like Lockheed Martin, it had, before all this, pinging about it, we've looked at it, it looked good. It still hasn't really gone anywhere, but it still looks pretty good down here after a long extended drawdown. They're confirming a bottom. They're like favorable price action above 443, and you're sitting here and you think like it still looks good. I wouldn't want to own it below 443, I don't think, but you would think this is almost like a bullish dragon kind of, and there would be good upside. I mean, eventually to 590, maybe a W shape develops or something. So I just, the question. So the war is kind of like making some of the technicals that are correlated, the sectors that are correlated to war in the Middle East, making them play out, which is kind of cool to see. Coin top buyers not getting good sleep tonight. Oh yeah, dude. Because Coin was crazy. I should have looked at it maybe, but if y'all didn't see Coinbase, look at this, man. Unbelievable. Up 4.43%. The day before it was up 16+%. That's over 20% in 2 days, and had its highest daily candle close since December 17th, 2024. I mean, that is unbelievable. That's so good. But yeah, you got to wonder with what happened on crypto if it's just going to have a nasty 10% down day tomorrow or something like that. Oil to 150. Oh, let's talk about 100 first, and then we'll talk about 150 after that. So nobody was thinking there was going to be a war. I mean, like, whatever, I don't know. My neighbor, like, I had a dinner parties with him. We get a stay-at-home chef. We'll have people over, and he was like pretty confident. He's like, "So, man, like, you worried about war with Iran. And I'm like, dude, that's not happening. But that was like, 6 weeks ago. And here we are. I'm like, wow, he was right about that, his worries. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really think anything of it. Didn't think Israel was just going to be going in and bombing Iran. I didn't know things were going to escalate. I don't think a lot of people did. So there were probably warning signs. That's why he was concerned. He must have been reading stuff that was real. Yeah, gold and silver. You want gold to silver? Well, we can look at U.S. oil because we're going to speculate on like what it's going to open up. Apparently, week in Wall Street, things should be opening probably somewhere. We got 39 minutes. So people think that we're going to be opening around $80. Like, oil will just be at 6 p.m. Boom, $80, which is going to be a major overhead resistance from January of this year. So if it does, don't know how the gap's going to sustain. It's going to pull back, fill some gaps, maybe at least back test 75 or 78, and then maybe run higher. But yeah, it's been on just like this long-term downtrend since 2020, mid 2022. So we're talking 3 years of lower highs, lower lows, or at least the same lows to lower highs. We haven't made a true like higher high in a long time. I made a higher high since, my God, it topped out in March 2022. It's only been lower highs, really. So, yeah, it was like cool that they recaptured 60. It started rallying. But, yeah, this is just a chart that's like almost like the VIX, where it's just catalyzed by events more so than big technicals. I mean, the technicals can play out, right? We had identified like a W shape, informal W shape. It is not truly a shark. It's too deep on B. Like you need a 1618 on the B to D right here with an 886. But so we called it a W shape, fine. And it ended up 886ing 85.6, and then it was over. The whole thing reversed. But now things are like turning around. Yeah, and speculate on gold. I mean, I think gold would probably be up a little bit, at least some. It'll just gap up. Gap will probably fill. But I don't know if it's going to like gap up above 34.29. That's like the old candle all-time highs. We failed to break it with a bearish dark cloud cover on the 16th with follow-through now. But yeah, it's still very strong, man. Like gold, one of the strongest assets and trends in the world right now. If anything. Nothing quite like it. We wish Bitcoin was like this, but yeah, we can't have nice things. So, we've been live now over an hour. If you're enjoying it, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Thank you for being here. If you are, yeah, thanks so much, man. Got a few people here. Thanks for the almost 700 people. Yeah, thanks for being here, guys. We're just monitoring the markets, kind of trying to run out the clock before futures open. Again, we're going on like 35 minutes until then. So try to keep me here. As many questions and, just keep the conversation going, man. Like if you can, with just 3 questions, just type in the chat. That's all you got to do. Instead of hype in the chat, it's type in the chat. So, I mean, if you want to look at more of these... we can look XAU to silver. I would imagine that's been plunging lately. No, sorry. It would be like XAU to US dollar paired against XAG, I think, maybe. I don't even know if that's right. Probably. Let's see. XAU USD, XAG USD. I don't know. That's a better chart. Yeah, this is gold to US dollar paired against silver to US dollar. And it is not really... Yeah, it pulled back minimally. Wow, it's really not even a big deal. So what is these questions you'll have? People typing to me? Keep me here, man. Matt Cotton, what's up, dude? Thank you, man. What about Chainlink? Dude, what do you want with Chainlink? Link Marines are... I mean, it's over. The war is over. Chainlink lost, and they're back home, and They're struggling, dude. I mean, really bad. Chainlink, like there's just nothing, you know. Is that an M shape type 2 return? Maybe, but until we get favorable price action, I just don't really care. Extend this right. And I'm going to look at all these. If there are questions and stuff, I'm going to read all of them if I can. Yeah, so this one's like terrible. It was like just constant lower highs locally. And, you know, so there are a lot of support resistances on this chart. So it's kind of a messy chart. But, yeah, if they don't hold, you're at this last level, like if Bitcoin cannot catch bids, you know, like even if you break 100, you then got to break 103. You got a lot of work to do if you want things to turn around on Bitcoin anytime in the short term. Let's just say you can't. Like, I don't even think if Bitcoin does some of the things that you need to get higher in the short term, it's going to be very good for alts. Alts are still they might pivot for a little bit, but they'll end up just rolling over, underperforming Bitcoin and rolling over. Like if you don't hold this 1119 level, I just don't know why you don't eventually see 926. I don't know why you don't, you know, take out the April 6 lows. It's just crazy to think about. Chainlink is only 10% removed from its April lows, and then Bitcoin is still, what is it? Bitcoin's still 33% up off its lows. It's nasty, dude. We have some saxophone playing. I feel like I'm at a mall in the 1990s, and while I'm at that mall, I'm buying Beanie Babies, dude. That's what saxophone like that reminds me of. Okay, dude, we're gonna pick up Tabasco. We're gonna pick up Princess Diana and Claude the Crab. Claude the Crab's definitely gonna hold its value, and yeah, we're gonna become rich, bro. Same thing with Chainlink. Chainlink is a Beanie Baby, same thing. Claude the Crab, dude. So yeah, that was you're like, what about Chainlink? Well, that's it, dude. It's garbage, and if it doesn't hold this level, you're effed. You're really effed. All right. So is there more questions? Chase Brown, just depends, man. You say like split investment money between real estate and Bitcoin, or just go Bitcoin. If you asked me like 4 years ago, split. It's very difficult this time. And the thing is, like, asking that question is really tough because it's like, how much capital do you have? Right? If you don't have enough capital to go cash on... See, the problem with real estate, it's so F now. It is so beyond F because the market's frozen. It's frozen. Like, you can't... People don't want to buy because they don't want those high interest rates. People don't want to buy because many people got those 3% interest rates and they never want to get out of that. And at the same time, you have the market is so overinflated because of 2020, 2021, the money printing. 40% of all circulating supply of US dollars was printed in 18 months. So everything doubled in price. So the price of houses is ridiculous still, and it's a slow bleed. So like probably, not financial advice, but probably just my outlook, I think the next 3 years plus is going to be exactly how it is now, but worse. Like it's just going to continue to bleed where if interest rates stay high, like as they are, like these overinflated houses in price, they're going to continue to bleed out slowly. It's a slow burn. But I don't think there's not going to be an '08 or anything like that. So yeah, real estate's effed because you can't. How do you make a proper investment on something that's overinflated because of money printing? And it's like, well, you know, it's worth that because of the devaluation, monetary debasement. It seems like, but who's like coming into the market now that can afford anything? Zoomers are effed. They can't even get jobs out of college. People are renting. They can't buy. So it's like, who are you? If you want to buy real estate for an investment right now, I don't think it is an investment right now. I mean, what do you think, chat? What do you think about real estate? It's like in a I don't even know. Like, see, I was like in college when '08 happened, so I wasn't even really paying that much attention. But like, I think right now is the worst time for real estate since '08 for sure. Even though I'm not comparing the two, I'm not saying like this is like '08. I'm saying there's not been a time worse for real estate since then. Since like 2008 through 10, 11, I think it all bottomed out in 2014. That's when I bought my first home. The year that it bottomed, I didn't even know. Just boom, lucky, very lucky. Oh yeah, and then you got property tax, all that. You don't have no property tax on Bitcoin, that's for sure. Well, yeah, real estate agents, of course they would say it's always a good time to buy. It is in their best interest to do that. Like a real estate agent who's saying it's a terrible time to buy will be broke. They will not have. It's self-preservation at this point for a real estate agent. They're lying to themselves and to their potential clients to say it's a good time to buy real estate right now. It's crazy. It's a crazy bad time. Unless you have cash and you're not looking at it as an investment. Sure, if you're looking to buy real estate, cash, and you know that your house, the property that you're buying, will not appreciate in value for 3 years to 5 years from now, it'll stay the same or go lower, sure, go ahead and buy a house, right? But people do want to get a return on their investment as soon as they can. They don't want to buy high, but unfortunately, you'd be buying high. And if you don't have cash, you'd be buying at ridiculous interest rates. If you want to live in it, again, you can live in it. You can have your cake, but are you going to eat your cake? That's the thing. You want your cake and eat it too. Not the best time. It's just a gully. See, the thing is, it's probably it's never going to be an '08 again. There was something systemically wrong, right? We just have a completely different set of variables that's causing the real estate market to be bad now. We'll see. I think there are other questions. And it's definitely not a seller's market, that's for sure. So I'm just scrolling up where there were. Yeah, that's true. That your local government always can raise property taxes. Yeah. Where are all the questions, man? I know they were up here. Where's Man Bun? He's around. He's always got his man bun on. And looking back at, man, total just, in the end, right, it
Mitch,
was
did
beautiful.
you ever play with higher leverage of value perceived areas and thus don't need large moves to make good money? You explained that's what's happening on Type 1 returns. I did this in late April without realizing it was a thing. Just an experiment.
Typically, if I'm gonna like leverage, okay, so I have a rudimentary understanding of options. Okay, so if I play options though, it's on the most high probability outcome I could get, which would be like an ACHR. That's when I'll play options. Like I would buy some cheap calls on ACHR, which I did. This is probably one of the best trades I've ever made in my life. I took call options. I think it was like, you know, a little bit out of the money call options on a, to me, for the percentage of my portfolio, it was almost inconsequential amount at the time. But I took call options here when, you know, G-Dog and we had looked at the Type 1, but months went by and we just kind of forgot about it. And G-Dog was like, dude, are we about to eat? He said, like, were we about to eat or something? And it's like, Jesus, here it is. So like, I mean, I guess scalpers would do that, but you know, you're not going to be getting, most likely not going to get the crazy run. Like I bet high leverage people taking call options here, as long as they took profit at a resistance, then they were good. But again, like my issue with like the type 1 is, what happens if like your type 1 never ones? It never type ones. It just, it looks like, and then it just continues to sell off, and then just, all time lows. Like, that's my problem there. The type 2 is where I feel more confident, because I know the psychology of it. I know a lot more other people are going to probably be coming in too to long it. So for me, if I'm taking, I don't do the day trader thing though. So people will like probably, what you're talking about are like people coming in doing 0 day to expiration. They're like type 1. There's like 1 and 2 here at support. Okay, well I'll have some out of the money calls and take profit at $4.50 or $5, and then they're out. But for me, I take it a lot slower. So I would like to wait for that type 2, and then I would take some options, maybe a little out of the money, but again, with a very like, where, okay, you can only lose what you put into an option, right? So if I put in like $14,000 into an option, I can only lose that if it failed. So that's, again, if you're talking about $1 million+ portfolio, what is 14 grand? It's not much. So, but in the end, ended up closing out that 14 grand
Just
up
log in.
170,
Prayers for our service
170K.
members. What about art as investment?
What's up, Angry Bolo?
Is that a joint?
Art is an investment. Well, the problem is art is in the same situation as luxury watches, real estate. Art has ballooned in value, like high-end art, and it's still high. And so there's zero value involved. And art and luxury watches and a lot of other luxury items are in a slow bleed from 2021. I can show you what most luxury items look like. Let's see. What is it? Let me try to find it for you. Okay. I'm looking for it. This is a good question, but it's not. I don't think it's a good time. Where is this? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's just look at like. I'll pull it up. Just looking for a chart here, okay? Let me log in. Oh my God, I don't know what my login is. Okay, I'm human. Bro, I'm trying to pull this up for you. Of course, I don't know. Of course, that's the wrong password. It's always the wrong password.
Can you check out HAL on the weekly? Low from 2020 to now. Potential bullish Gartley? Thanks for all the education.
Yeah. Morning cup of Joe. Thanks to 20. We'll look at Halliburton. Yeah. Aerospace defense. Okay, let me show you real quick. Artwork is pretty much the same chart here. This is it. So this is it's a Rolex Pepsi. Okay, it's like your GMT Master 2. It is the watch that is great for store value. Like if you wanted to own something that's gonna never lose its value, most likely, you buy a Pepsi. There are other ones too, like the Daytona and stuff. But like if you see what happened, this is just like artwork. Okay, this is the chart where it was fine, holding its value, and then what was the date? We have 2020 came around, right? And that's when the money printing started. That's when monetary debasement went absolutely berserk. And so you went on this mania, or it's just like S-Coins. Like the Pepsi ended up going to 35K at its peak. Peak mania, 35K. And so then it crashed, and now look at it. It's continued to go sideways / down. And that's artwork. That's anything you can, probably Hermes bags, anything. The chart's similar. And there's some that are like even crazier than this that were going like, you go like a Aquanaut. Look at the Patek Philippe Aquanaut. Like let's just look at one of these. The same thing. I mean, this one held its value better than others. Yeah, for sure. Wow, that one's not bad. Okay, so some are better than others, but some were like crazy. Like one of mine, I have a Sprite. I didn't even get into watches till, you know, the bubble had popped and it was dead market. Like, look at this one. You know, they listed it in, this is after the bubble popped, right? This didn't come out till 2022, and it's just nothing but down. I just bought it because it's a lefty watch. I want it forever. It's not an investment to me, but people were like speculating, right? And just, it's like it's like a crypto. It's like definitely like a crypto. So anyway, I'm just trying to, it all makes sense, right? If you know what I'm saying. Like, so it's probably not great because the slow bleed will continue. So Halliburton for a cup of Joe, yes sir. From Loader Now. Are you sure you don't want Hindustan Aeronautics, bro? Hindustan. India. Come on, man. So this one, ugh. You said Loader Now. We're still not at M shapes. So they are, okay, so they're trying to recapture this 1981, bro. 1980, old all-time high. Imagine holding Halliburton, you know, excluding dividends, for 16,000 days, you've made nothing. Oh, God, it's just scary to think about, right? Like, do you really want to put your money, like, can you trust things? I don't know, just sit there. So, what do you, potential bullish Gartley? Nah, no Gartley. See, how do you even know what it would be? Because the peaks are the same, and you got way lower to go. I mean, like, I wouldn't even, maybe it'll hold, dude, maybe, but, you know, he's talking about Gartley, 50. See, that's the problem. It's a 50% retrace. So it's not a Gartley, it's a potential bat pattern. And the problem is 886. So the trend's terrible. Just think about from April 2022 all the way to April 2024, market participants did everything they could to break this major inflection point, and they failed for years to recapture the previous swing highs. Awful. Less than before. And now the buyers relented, the sellers took back over, and you're just in this disgusting downtrend. I mean, you just put in your lowest price since, you know, it was like 3.5 plus year lows. Just recently, just, you know, I can't sign on. It looked okay because it was like an ascending triangle, and once they broke that demand line, I was, nope, no way. That's very bad. You cannot fail again, make a lower high, and then break a demand line of an ascending triangle and expect good things to happen. And they bearish back tested it, and it's just been death ever since. So unfortunately, no, not a Gartley. It'd be a potential bat, and the pattern completion zone is way lower. And the real problem is, if you're talking to Scott Carney, he's saying the bat action magnet moves, the B point, that's like where if they break that level for real, there's a high probability of a 786-886 coming. So all they're doing right now is back testing the bat action magnet move. What was once support is now flipping to resistance. So until they're doing something else, it's just bad, man. Like, this is, I wouldn't touch Halliburton because you could buy wheel stocks or LMT. Those look better than this. Just being real, okay. Yeah, Solar Edge cooked, man. Just landmines, okay. You know what 2025 is? Landmines. You're walking around. Oh, look, Solar Edge kind of looks. Oh my God. You're dead. You're dead. Just explosions, man. Yeah, I don't know. Halliburton just, you thought it'd probably look okay. I haven't looked at it in a while. You thought it would, but it's like, wow, it's actually not even good. Like, yeah, it's got the same little structure as like Chevron and the others, right? The triple bottom with accumulation signature. They fill the, look, I guess at this point, if you really cared, your cutoff probably on Halliburton be below 21.28, probably. But yeah, you could have another one below 1965 too. I think you're dead below 21 or 19. Like, below those levels is where you would not want to own this asset. The trend is just so bad, man. it wasn't a good trend, right, before, and then it went sideways, and now it's downtrending. Money printing, like, I don't think we'll ever see money printing like that again. Remember, what happened in 2020, 2021 was the entire heart of global trade halted instantly. Like, that's not happening again no matter what. Unless a bomb goes off, like a nuclear bomb, yeah, that would be a black swan that no one could predict or understand. It's unbelievable. Yeah, new data. That'd be a new piece of data that would be, oh my God. But like, the probability is so low that we'll get a COVID type supply line situation, halt situation. That's the only way that money printing would happen again. So, no. Clipping horribly. It's probably because I'm too close to the mic. Is it better now? Like, I guess I've had too many years of a bad mic, I think. So, let me know if it's better. Yeah, it's true. In real estate, like maintenance prices. Oh, think about like, yeah, okay, I got to get a plumber. Well, their rates are up. Anyone, insurance, everything is just going parabolic. I don't know how normal people are doing it. Like people that just make normal money, 50, 60K a year. I don't know how you're surviving, how those people are surviving right now. It's awful. That's Chronos 24, Matt Cotton. Chronos 24. It shows all the charts of different watches. Like you could go to like a Daytona, another classic, good store value for watches. We can look at one. Let's look at your standard Panda Daytona. Great store value. You can look at that chart. Well, I don't see the chart, so. Oh, here it is. Yeah, like this chart. This is like a great example of like everything. Like that, luxury. It bubbled, it popped, and look at the slow bleed. It's like real estate. In my opinion, this is the real estate chart in a way. It's still higher than before the money printing, but it's at nearest its lowest point, and I think will continue to slow burn. Even at artwork, there's just no value, and you're in a downtrend on these assets. So, yeah, you could continue to wait to buy. You're starting to get to a point where, is that an 886? Let's see. Let's do 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Look, dude, we're getting to an 886, bro. Maybe a bullish. Well, it's not an M shape or anything, but now we're still at a 786 probably. So, yeah, crazy. We're just thinking 5 years, it's up 16% still off the June 2020 lows by 16%. But my God, this thing, think about it, it went up to over $50,000. It was like $52,000 at the top, and now you can pick it up years later for $29,700. I remember when it was at 36. It's crazy, dude. Anyway. I need another coffee. Oh my God. Explorer 2. Oh, those terrible. I mean, some are just god awful. Like you can get an Explorer 2 for on the gray market lower than you could at the AD. And there are multiple ones like that. A lot of precious metal ones are like that. What are the chances we move to fill the gap formed over the weekend tomorrow morning? Very possible, dude. Well, just, there are two gaps now. In 10 minutes, there'll be two gaps on Bitcoin futures because there will be a new one painted this weekend where you're going to open right here, like right around key support resistance, or at least some. And that'll be an open gap, right? A 103,420 gap, but then you got one right below you at 96.6 and another one at 91,880. So that's 3 gaps in the vicinity, it seems like. Wait. right, so you got these gaps are all filled down here. I'll just use these gaps now. So we got one here, then we got another one here. You can't really see the gap. 91,670, 96,6, and then it's going to be 103,420. So it's like, which gap will fill first? You know, it's like a good question. And you're like, well, how are you confident the gap will? Dude, the gaps fill, bro. They just do. Like even this one, when will that gap? That gap's never going to fill. It sure did once and twice, didn't it? Yep. All these other ones filled too. Like it was crazy how they filled this one. They filled this one from February 24th. It was the Trump pump and dump. They went to fill it and it was over. And then you bearishly back tested the key support as resistance and then rolled over again to eventually see the lowest lows of the correction. So that's the question. Which gap will fill? Yeah, the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, that's like Hormuz. It's going to be crazy. But isn't it like where the U.S. only about 3% of all the oil we get comes through the Strait of Hormuz? So it's kind of inconsequential to us. But China, I believe, they get like 20% of their oil from the Strait of Hormuz, whatever. Like, so it's going to be a way bigger deal for them. And I know that China recently stepped away from support of, whoever's in power in Iran. Vermouth. There we go. Vermouth. I think I said it right once. Okay, sorry. Vermouth, bro. No, man, it could be a dump or pump, man. It just depends on this. Dude, we're at key levels. Well, we're technically below key levels. Okay, unfortunately on the 4 hour you can see it. So you're just hoping. The problem is, even if you rallied, maybe a scalper might make some money, but it's like not going to change much. It's just you're going to run back up to this 102.6, 103 level. It's going to be tougher to break. Japan using 80 to 90% of their oil supply from. What is it? Hormuz. So right now we have 8 minutes till futures are opening, chat. And that's what we are patiently awaiting, running out the clock for, okay? So I'm just trying to talk to y'all. That's why questions are good in the chat. It's always great. Helpful to keep me going for longer than an hour. What's up, Hogger? Thank you, dude. Yeah, you got a day date. Day dates are great too, man. They're awesome. But at one point, they were way more awesome. Everything was more awesome in 2021. That bubble was crazy. Oh, yeah, it should. I don't know, man. I haven't looked at the uranium chart. That's probably gonna spike, right? Well, it was already spiking. It already, just recently. Probably will spike. It'll probably make a new all-time high, I believe. Not all-time high, but multi-year high. So let's see here. Yeah, uranium's up again. It's below a key level. Let's pull it up. So yeah, URA, which is a global uranium ETF. I guess a good way of tracking. Went on this crazy run from April to now and hit this $38, $26, $39 level. And I'll show you looking left. As you can see, it's an old 2013 and 2014 swing high, similar to silver, right? But they tested it and you're trading below it now. They rejected it for now. But my God, after a B2 bomber, it would probably be up tomorrow. Just guessing, but not acting like I know. But yeah, the level to break on URA is 39, and if they break that, your target's probably 45.91. So above that level, if they could ever break it on this crazy news, like 16-17% upside. But no edge, no structure. It's just crazy impulse. I mean, think about uranium ETF off its lowest point in April, up 101% in 67 days. That is superior to Bitcoin in performance on the recovery. Yeah, I wouldn't look at Rolexes, like, even if it's a yellow gold, like, you can't look at a Rolex as like, oh, it's got gold in it, so it's I think you only have like $10,000 to $12,000 worth of gold into a yellow gold Rolex. So it's more about the quality. It's the mastery, right? Master craftsmanship you're wearing. All the insane, like, what, 100 pieces of very small metal all together, giving you that beautiful watch. So yes, those watches on Chronos 24 are verified. Absolutely, yeah. It's a good site, very good site. I would recommend always, though, trying to find someone locally that you trust. But yeah, not everyone can do that. Hey, what's up, Magoo? Let's look at Trump coin. I haven't looked at Trump coin in a while, man, because, yeah, dude, that was the top. That was one of the tops anyway. Him and Hawk Tua girl. Let's see, what was it, on Mex? Yep, old Trump coin coming on down. Bro, is that an M shape? Yeah, I guess. How many days in a row? 1, 2, 3. 9 days in a row of negative closes, of red closes. That's so nasty. No bids. Imagine an M shape here. I don't care. It's Trump coin. I'm not looking. If it is an M shape that develops, fine, we'll identify it when we get a reaction, but there's been no reaction at all. Anything, it should have been a 786. No reaction on the Gartley PCZ, PRZ. So, okay, let's wait at 820. Let's see what happens. Probably not going to hold. If Bitcoin goes to fill that gap down here in the 91s, Trump coin's going to a fresh low since the inception candle, January 18th. Y'all want to look at Melania coin? Probably not, right? 2 minutes till futures. Yeah, that's right. 2 minutes. So look on the 8s. Going back to Bitcoin. Currently just right at key levels. As you can see on the daily, just right at the inflection zone and the downsloping support that's where the confluence is of both, right? You're just sitting there. And then you got Ethereum. Checking back on Ethereum, only down 5.2% now off the lows. It was down almost 7%. Hits that key support where it's like, hey, if they break 2400, man, on deck 2127, boom, they hit it, and now that's where you are 3 days in a row. It's pretty nasty. And that's it. Off the lows by, dang, almost 3% off the lows. Well, this thing was down like 8% at the low point. XRP, danger zone. To lose 190 is death in a lot of ways. Major technical issues. And the context doesn't help, because now, like, the context is, oh, look, here's your highest high ever. And here are two highs that are unable, like, the buyers are unable to even come close to rivaling that all-time high. And then, oh, look, lower highs, then these highs, then this high, then this high that was, even after the failed bearish breakdown, they ran it up and just tested the top perfectly of the range and rivaled these previous highs. It's still lower than these highs. It's rolled over again, and here we are, just back at it. Not good. Below the 200-day moving average. It's ugly. Like, XRP is in a lot of trouble by the looks of it. You already had a death cross in mid-May, and that death cross is still very valid. You are below all 3 moving averages. That's disgusting. It is disgusting to see the price correlate so negatively to all 3 of the moving averages, and to be trading below all 3. That is really bad. They would call this, when the moving averages, they get close, coil up, and then they cross over. bearishly, and then they start separating, call that bearish fanning. It's not a good thing. It does not look good at all. So, man, that's just bad, dude.
There's bears out here.
Oof. Yeah, I'm not excited about XRP. I'll tell you that. Oops. And then we look at Solana, which it's at supports. Hey, major supports here. You better hold, or it's a long way down. Okay, futures have opened, chat. Let us go. Let us open the future. Crap, I thought I had it open. Let me open that overlay or that layout real quick. Futures. There we go. Opening up my futures. So out the gate on the new hour, Bitcoin is up a little bit. Yep, my alert went off on S&P or NASDAQ. So it all gapped down, but it's not a big deal. It really isn't. Let me just, forget it. Let's just go to the big screen real quick. Here it is. So it's not a big deal. It gapped down. The gap will probably fill. But my God, man, I just don't know how long it's going to take for us to get some actual resolution here. Like, we are at the price reversal zone, pattern completion zone of a big old bearish bat pattern, and just nothing yet. Nothing. Okay, so that's how the futures are starting. With a gap down, an expected gap down, but it's nothing burger, a nothing burger gap so far. So no problem there. The VIX gapped up. We're going to look at it. These gaps will fill probably within hours. Within the hours. Here's your VIX. It just gapped up 3.3%. Not a big deal, but the bigger deal is like, why is the M-shaped type 2 return here? Like, why? Why does it look so good? Why does the harmonic framework exist on the VIX? I don't even know if I've ever seen that before, for real, like this. So, yeah. Expected gaps up and down, whatever, but nothing really crazy yet, and we may not get anything crazy. And then we got gold real quick. Let's go check it out. It's open, but sometimes it takes a minute. So gold is open, but yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure. US oil, let's check it out. There's your oil, dude. It was up 8.55% on weekend Wall Street, but it's only up 3.78 on the real open. Okay, U.S. oil gapped up. Still haven't taken out that wick high from June 13th when all the initial bombings were happening. I think it was when Iran was actually bombing Israel at that point. So no big deal. Bitcoin's fine, but still below 100K. Maybe we can recapture 100 and everything will be fine, man. Long-term, Stacy? Yeah, absolutely. Long-term, yes. Absolutely. The fact that one side had a money laundering scheme for hundreds of billions, if not $1 trillion+ to AstroTurf support for their own cause, to destroy the U.S. from within and without, because it was spreading across all of the West. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank God for Doge dismantling the left's psychotic, crazy money laundering scheme that, again, funded their entire movement. Yes, that alone. And the borders closed. No more third world migrants coming in, okay? Completely just, enough come in, there will not be a U.S. So, yes. That's short-term pain for long-term gain. Absolutely, yes. So, okay, oil futures, Bitcoin's doing okay. I would imagine all the altcoins now are going to rally off the lows. You can see here on the futures, the S&P, top left, Dow Jones top right, Nasdaq bottom left, Russell 2000 bottom right. Still have not yet filled the gap or anything. I think they will, but it's good to see. Hey, Bitcoin's back over 100K. Let's go. Back above a key level. I desperately needed that. We just, my Bitcoin futures chart's a little delayed, so we now know. I'll just show you real quick because it's not going to update, but again, we have an unfilled gap at 103,420. So you can imagine, if it gaps down, they might run to fill this gap first. And everyone's going to be like, I'm not afraid anymore. And yes, Stacy, yes. I'm not talking about fiscal irresponsibility. I don't think there's any leader of the free world that would ever be fiscally responsible. Sorry, it's not going to happen. So there are other problems, though, outside of the deficit. We know Bitcoin will eventually fix the fiscal irresponsibility, and we know we can survive off that. We can, that's our lifeboat. We've got a lifeboat for that. There is no lifeboat for unfettered third world migrant invasion. Okay, there's no defense to that. There is no defense to hundreds of billions of dollars of our tax money funding an entire side's movement where they don't need people. They're importing people to sway it to where they have a one-party state forever. Okay, so you can't defend against that. So we can defend. We got Bitcoin for the fiscal irresponsibility crap politicians. Not the other part. No, we got nothing there. So thank God. Don't be afraid. Why? All right, so yeah, this is what you get, man. People are scared leading up to it, and then when it opens, everything's good, man. We're pumping. We're back. We're only down less than $2,000 on Bitcoin now. We're back above the key support. Dude, if futures gap fills, then Bitcoin's probably going to be at 102, or at least 101. So we've been live now for nearly 2 hours. And we're, so we 2 hours until the weekly candle close on Bitcoin. So it was bad, and now some bids are coming in where the key levels being defended for now. So it would be great, right? It really would be a good thing to see in less than 2 hours a candle close above the downsloping support, a candle close above the horizontal line support. That would be phenomenal. That was a target area. So for it to be breaking like that was really bad. So it's good to see that it wasn't how it was.
MRVL, thanks for everything, bro.
What's up, Grace Foundation? Thanks to 20. Yeah, we can look at Marvel. Yes. Yeah, big gapped up, stocks gapped down. The gaps are going to fill. Not a big deal. Yeah, it is a nothing burger. I think it really is a nothing burger. Okay, Bitcoin back at its 4-hour candle high, 100,345. Try to knock out this request. Technology. Big old bearish engulfing candle at resistance on Friday. So you just gotta, it's been a really good run so far, right? Really nice recovery off the lows, like Nvidia. Whoa, it's completely different though, right? Nvidia almost all-time highs. This one's like an altcoin. So yeah, it went up and hit $76, $78. Look, very real resistance zone, okay? Inflection zone. I mean, this is so real it goes back to 2021, 2022. You see that, how real it is. So that's a big level. To break that would be a gap fill target easily at, I would think, at $90, but that's a big if after such a good run. So it's all about, can they break that level, right? If there's not a structure or anything, yeah, I just can't, I'm not acting like I know where we're going. It's all about if there's enough demand for buyers to break it. $90. If you can't, then you're going to fill the gap down here at $70 easy, and hope to God that 66 holds, because that's another big inflection point. So it's either 66 or 90 if they can break 78. If they can't break 78, 66. They do. It's 90. Okay. But yeah, in the end, someone be like, "Is that a 3 rising valleys?" It could be. I mean, it kind of looks like it. It's kind of a little too. The angle is too steep almost for a 3 rising valleys, but someone out there could try to interpret it that way, like 1 and 2. It's kind of proportionate. 3 like that. Oof. It could be. Maybe. It's more like the spring and the back test of spring from May 7th was really good. And I like how they put in another higher low there. So as long as you stay above, I guess, $60, it's valid. No, Mr. Magoo, your wrench has been gone for a long time. People like that, we do wrench purges occasionally. Someone is like, if I haven't seen you in the chat or moderating in a really long time because you're gone, it's like I just we cut down on the wrenches. We just do that. So it's nothing personal. Don't take it personal, man. Don't get mad. It has nothing to do with anything you've said or anything you've done. We go through and we just purge wrenches occasionally. I mean, I haven't purged wrenches though in like a year. So what does that tell you? Or more. I don't even remember the last time I purged wrenches. So, okay, we're continuing to climb. $100,000, $500, 4-hour highs. All right, everything's going to be okay, chat. The futures have saved us. Thank God. Yeah, AG, having check for AG. Yeah, it was harmonic framework, man. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, what do you think was going to happen to futures? Like, the thing is, oil might do its thing. It might go crazy because it's like for real. There might be some serious fundamental consequences of the Strait of Hormuz and all that, Hormuz. But in terms of Israel and Iran, like those two economies virtually mean nothing. They're nothing on a global scale. They don't mean anything to the global economy. So it can't really, outside of short-term spikes in fear on the VIX, it can't really do any damage to the U.S. economy or the U.S. or the stock market. It doesn't mean anything. And I said that last week. It's just like, what do you think it's really going to do? It's not going to do anything to your equities market. But yeah, maybe commodities market might go off the chain a little bit. Sure. So yeah, U.S. oil real quick. Check on it. Gapped up. It was kind of doing okay. It wasn't like pulling back or anything yet. Has it? Nope. Yeah. See, it's starting to. That gap's gonna fill. Chat. That gap's gonna fill. They're not gonna just leave that gap unfilled when it's so close. It wasn't even that big a deal. 3% gap up is inconsequential. Oil affects everything. Yeah, not for the U.S. 2 to 3%. Of oil that the U.S. receives is through that strait. It is not a big deal to us. Okay, so that was a big nothing burger anticlimactic futures opening. But no surprise at all. Did we finally? Yep, the gold. It gamped up, and it was a nothing burger. Watch, a big old nothing burger. That is up 0.3%. What? That gap will fill within probably a couple hours or less, and we'll be right where we started on Friday. Nothing. Well, Terrapin Station, instrumental, of course, Echo Leaf. Yeah, that's true, V8. They get 20% of their oil through there. So, definitely a negative for China. What's up, Cactus? Okay, so I think that we got everything, all our bases covered this stream. Just looking at it, hanging out with y'all on a Sunday afternoon. Bitcoin's only down 1.75%. Well, what's it down in 3 days? Well, on this 3-day candle, it's down about three grand, 2.89%. What's it down on the week? The weekly candle is not as, it's still, ugh. Like, you just better hope that, I guess whatever they're doing on the weekly, it's this better, 100,878 better hold. Yeah, that's about it, because that was like the low point. Like, they put it in on May 12th, and then they tested in reverse June 2nd. So it's like they better hold it again, because like the weekly is just, it's gross the way it looks with this candle, you know. Like, all the candle closes were just so much higher, and now it's like, oh, we're going to the lowest weekly close since April 28th. I don't understand why people think there would be a World War III over this Iran thing. That's just crazy to me. Iran, really? They couldn't even, last night those B-2 bombers flew over, they couldn't even recognize it. They did not pick it up on their radar at all. They had no idea. Yeah, dude, that country, they're virtually in the Stone Age when it comes to airspeed, like, you know, air or missiles or ground trip, nothing. Like, there's no World War III gonna break out off this stuff, dude. You're crazy. World War III's not breaking out over Israel, dude. I don't know what people are thinking. Like, it's like fear-mongering, I think. Clicks and rage bait or whatever. Yeah, this weekly, though, ugh. It's just like, why not 92? Well, why not? I mean, it could for the back test, the gap fills. It would make sense, and hopefully that holds. But for now, we're just looking at, I mean, what did it look like? Here's a high, here's a big sell-off, here's a higher high. Here's a high, here's a big sell-off, here's a higher high. Oh, God, like, I hope it's not. It's too early. And here you go. Like, Bitcoin's just rallying at its highs. Again, on this 4-hour candle. Not a big deal. And Gudamaya, they're not going to. They're just not going to. It just doesn't make sense. All right, well, let's pray for Bitcoin, which, is indirectly praying for altcoins, but, they're just... You're just hoping that this holds, dude. Like, the weekly on XRP is just like, oh, monka S, dude. Pull out the old monka S, bro. Like, that level better freaking hold, man. DXY, yeah, look at that. Gapped up 0.23%. That gap's going to fill. What's crazy about this? Look where we are, man. Look where the DXY is. Like, this old multi-year channel going back to 09. It's been perfect. We're back at the bottom, and when you're at the bottom of this, it typically isn't good, right, for at least Bitcoin. So yeah, you got to worry about like a dragon, one test, and then a second test here. That's not great. Look at that, man. Oh, God. Bullish divergence, second local low. It's a dragon. This could be trying to bottom out a little bit. DXY could be bottoming out a little bit. Make of that what you will. Not great. Cairo, I don't think so. Not yet, man. Not yet. You got to just wait. Be patient. The context has been bad. Because the lower high than the previous highs, more distribution. Like, you're like, is this a good time to buy XRP? I don't think so. Just not yet. Like, if you give me some more candles that are favorable, and it's like they're, an M shape develops, and we recapture, and then we reconfirm with a spring back test, and that's like going to take like 6 weeks to 2 months plus. Sure, but not right now. I just don't. I think it's kind of like we're back at this level after putting in the lowest high since all-time highs. So it's like the distribution continues. And I already showed you the moving averages, how bad that looks. Below all 3 moving averages, they're all beginning to down slope. They're all starting to turn over. When have all the moving averages been turning over? They haven't. Really, my music still? Dang it. Yeah, I did be patient on XRP. On crypto in general, just wait, man. Oh, we looked at you. We've been looking at Usoil since it reopened like multiple times. Yeah, this gap will fill. It was all a nothing burger. No one cares about B-2 bombers bombing Iran. The market doesn't care. Not really. That's what all this means. The free market doesn't really care about what happened. A very slight gap down like that will fill, like it's almost certain that this gap will fill like probably today. This gap will probably fill today. Means the market didn't care. Unfazed. VIX gap gonna fill. Nothing burger. Ethereum, see it 2100. Boom, it happened, and now you're bouncing. You're up like 4% off the lows. And RSI, lowest level seen since early April. And that's about it so far. That's all we got on Ethereum. That was, if you broke this level, you knew this was on deck. It happened. Now we're like, okay, so they held it, and you're bouncing a little. Let's reassess. Let's get some more data. No banana zone, dude. Bananas have rotted. And fruit flies everywhere because everyone's fine like a fruit fly if they owned these cryptos leading up to my banana zone. Yeah. You just got to remember what happened. You were thinking my banana zone and then stuff like this happened. Right up, way up here. Stuff like this. The pump, and it's like, man, I've been here before a million times on these altcoin pump and dumps. A million times. You trying to tell me this, all this? You're toxic. You're negative. I can't believe you're saying all this. Look, what is your problem, dude? You have a problem with crypto? That was what was happening back in mid-January. These altcoins looked like they were completely done, and they were confirming they were done, and they were. They were effing so done, and they may not even be completely done. They just went on this little joke rally. Uniswap, really? Yeah. Just a bunch of garbage coins, man. Bart Simpson on there. I guess if you want to call it that. If it was a true Bart, the square up is not concluded. If it was a true Bart, we would see Ethereum eventually at 1830, right where this green candle started. That would be a true Bart Simpson. So I guess it's potential until then. Because a Bart Simpson is it's like where exchanges, right? If someone's buying, they have to virtually short. They're selling to the buyers. So they're underwater, and they can eventually gain momentum of the asset to push it back down to sell their position at a break-even level. So where they're taking on no losses, and then the price can continue upward, and it still would be fine then. So that would be a Bart Simpson, which is a square up, offloading their position at a break-even price, which would be we need to see Ethereum go another like 17% down. So no Bart Simpson yet, but working on it. Okay, so Bitcoin 100K. Don't know if it's going to hold, man. It's just at least we're above 99.3. That's fine. I wonder if we got Let's see. Yeah, we should have at least one. At least see the open on futures. Yeah, look, there it is, dude. Oh my God. See, we now have an unfilled gap on Bitcoin futures at $103,400. Right there. That is a gap that could fill soon. Could do it soon, like tomorrow, whatever. A couple days. At the same time, you can clearly see this horizontal line support resistance is confluent with the downsloping support, just like on spot, and that is where it opened, and that is where it's been catching a little, some bids at least right now. That's the level. Below that, yikes, 96.6 and then 92K, 2 unfilled gaps. So it's like, which gap will fill first? I mean, that's a great. I've been live too long. Kind of want to be like out of here, but I can just start a poll. I'll do okay, which gap will fill first on Bitcoin CME futures chart? Okay, there's the poll. Go, everyone that's watching, if you can hear me, go vote on the poll. Let's see what we can get. Will it be 103.4 or will it be 96.6? Because it's pretty much equal upside downside, right? I mean, it's like, it's about 2.66% up, and never mind. And then it's like 3.89% down. So closer to 103.4. That's a pretty good poll, though, right? Because that's not easy. Like, I don't know. I would definitely think maybe they could fill the gap upward first, and then it rolls over after like maybe making a lower high than these two highs. And then rolls over and then fills 96.6 way later, but who knows? Pump the votes. Look back at futures and stock market. Of course, pretty much at your highs, close to your highs since the gap down. And you just know that these gaps will fill probably within the next couple hours, if that. Because they always do. Every time, man. Something to bet, and the gap fills. I'm talking about like Sunday evening, there's fear and stuff, and the gap's down like this, it always fills in the first few hours. Bitcoin dominance going for its highest weekly candle close, daily candle close of the entire multi-year uptrend it's been in. So, okay, we got 100 votes on the poll, well, 99 anyway, and it's 59.41. Yep, saved by futures opening, that's for sure, man. Levels being tested and defended for now, so you can thank God for that. Oh yeah, it's stuck. Sometimes that happens. Here's your Bitcoin dominance pulling back off its highs a little bit just because Bitcoin rallied some, so altcoins rallied a little more. But yeah, we hadn't seen anything like this since 2021. We're about to be in the 2020s. Well, never mind. 2020 is like, wow, we'd have to go way back. Never mind. You'll be 2021 for a long time because that's when it started crashing. But it is a work of art. This Wyckoff accumulation schematic will go down in the history books. If NFTs existed still, which it's a shame they don't, because we did it right. We did it the purest, most incredible way. And everyone else speculated and tried to get rich like a bunch of greedy a-holes, you know, like ruined the space before it could even get going. You know, we could encapsulate our own culture with those NFTs, and they were just like, I'm done. A picture of a bumblebee for $1 million is worth $10 today. Stupid joke, man. People just ruin things, man. Like, crypto could have been cool. It could have been okay. Nope. Too many greedy people got to ruin it with fraud and scams and rug pulls. Carl, last time was January 2021, man. Long time. 4.5 years, I believe. Yeah, Jack's first tweet ever was sold for like 2.9 million or 3 million, and then it's worth $10 today. Yep. What a scam, dude. What's up, Bitcoin AGU? Yeah, a lot of money laundering, whatever, just fraud. Oh, the amount of fraud. Well, I don't know if we'll ever see a 2021 amount of fraud. Like 08, of course, right? But 2021 was its own animal of fraud. I don't think we'll see fraud like that for a really long time. I mean, there was Trump coin, Melania coin, Hawk2a coin, but that's kind of pales in comparison to what we saw after that money printing. Okay, PPP, government money. Oh my God, it was just everywhere you look, people were committing mass amounts of fraud. Every market, every industry and sector, subsector. Shoot, I think even during that time there was like a fisherman, like a pro fisher who like was putting like weights inside the fish and they caught him, and it was a crazy video. I think I saw it. Yeah, even that. Watch dealers, dude, they were scamming Anthony Farrar, whatever. Yeah, 2 years ago, man. Two years ago. Look at this, man. Why is it so quiet? Listen how pissed people are. Dude, no, listen how pissed people were.
We got weights and fish! Get the out of here!
Dude, it was everything. It didn't matter where you were. People were getting completely screwed. Oh, yeah. Monero, yeah, dude, they were about to get the ropes off for sure. Monero, yeah, I don't remember what market. They've delisted it from so many. Oh, yeah, I got it. Old Monero, yeah, it was an outlier for sure. I mean, it was at its highest levels since 2021 on like everything else in crypto, and it's just up. It looks like they're trying to finally today back test this 288 level. Very real. Resistance. They're trying to flip it to support, so hopefully the buyers can hang on if they do successfully back test this as support. My God, you're going to go rival that 422 level, maybe 467 after that. So yeah, you're up against a major back test, which right when they broke it, you know, they had no idea that. So they're going for that. They're trying to see if it's real. Hey man, could this resistance be support now? You're doing it today. But yeah, nice uptrend. You've been uptrending for a year now. Year-long uptrend. So Bitcoin, yep, they're going to keep this thing, again, as long as futures goes to fill the gap, Bitcoin will rally with futures. Okay? That's what's happening. The futures are fine. Bitcoin is above 100, which is great because that's a key level. Below 100 for too long equals 92K. So 93K. So we're okay. No, Bright Color Father, I do not. I don't know what that is. Sorry. All right, y'all. Well, it's been a good stream. I've been live 2 hours, 15 minutes. Thanks for the likes, love, support, contributions, everything in between. Let's just reassess. We'll see how this close occurs in the next hour, 25 minutes on the weekly. And it was not a big deal. So everyone just calm down. We hit a target level support, and we're now going to assess the data that exists here. How will The buyers, it seems like for now, are trying to defend it. I guess OKC, bet 1 and 2. I'm just going for OKC. That'll be my coin flip. All right. So y'all join the Discord if you haven't. Brad just pinned it, or he just posted it. Let's close the. We had almost 200 votes on this poll, so that's fine. There it is. 51. Let's just virtually say half of y'all think 103.4, half think 96.6, but by 1%, the majority goes to 103.4. Okay, so Moon Boy, y'all Moon Boys, tight vote. Too many Moon Boys. Nah, I really couldn't be surprised if it did fill first. So, all right, thanks so much for everything. I'll be back till next time. Respect the TA.